But for the first issue of the day that we'll discuss, so when we talk about a question like, how can I achieve financial security? Or how can I make more money? What we want to do is think about it in terms of what it means conceptually, and then also what it means academically. Because there's a difference, in my opinion, between people who have an academic understanding of a topic versus people who have a conceptual understanding of a topic. Some of the most brilliant people that I've ever interacted with were people that did not have a formal education in the field that they were either working in or addressing, but they did have a strong conceptual understanding. They had a technical understanding of those issues. So that's what we're going to focus on as we move forward in talking about economic issues. One of the things that I always say is that you're going to pay for your education one way or the other. So you'll learn from experience, the way I did when I was 9 or 10 years old. You'll make some mistakes, you'll learn, you'll pay for those mistakes. But sometimes those lessons are the most valuable lessons because they are internal. You understand them. It's an example of actually touching the fire. Not that I would ever recommend that someone would put themselves at risk. But again, there's then the academic education, which is important as well. And you pay for that, there's tuition, and even if someone is imparting knowledge for free at no cost, you still have to invest time. So ideally, the combination of the two is the best way to get a clear and good understanding of the particular issues. So then when we think of concepts like accounting, there are two types of understanding. There's the conceptual understanding of the issues, and then there is the theoretical understanding of the issues. When I was 9 or 10 years old, I got a good conceptual understanding of accounting. At that point in time, I understood that my income minus expenses equals profit. And if expenses are greater than income, or the expenses are higher than what you expected, it's going to eat into your profit, or it's going to eat into your net income. So conceptually, I learned that lesson when I was about 9 or 10 years old. Fast forward to high school, and I'm actually taking an accounting class. And that accounting class in high school came very easy to me because I already had a conceptual understanding of accounting based on my experiences. However, in the accounting class, what I was able to learn was the terminology that went along with accounting. The obvious answer in terms of making more money is that if you have a $5 an hour skill set in the marketplace, the only way that you're really going to make more money, given the fact that there's a limited amount of time that you have available, is to increase your skill set, increase your marketable skill set. So the obvious answer is that if you go from a $5 an hour skill set to a $10 an hour skill set, you'll double your income potentially. If you're at $10, you can go to $20. If you're at 20, you can go to 40. If you're at 40, you can go to 80, etc. But one thing that we don't have the ability to do is to create more time. So therefore, we have to get more value out of our time. So what has to happen if you really want to make more income is to say to yourself each day is, what can I do to enhance my skills that'll increase my value in the marketplace? So then when we hear people talking about raising the minimum wage and doing certain things and guaranteed incomes, the logic of that tells us that it's not really going to make a difference in terms of the relative value of what you bring to the marketplace, because if you've got a $5 skill set relative to someone who has a $10 skill set, their skill set is going to be worth twice as much as yours in the marketplace, no matter what we do on an arbitrary basis. Because when we're talking about the actual dollar amount, we're not talking about something that's real. What we're talking about is using the value of a dollar to measure relative value. Okay, so then on a superficial level, that's almost a cliche. If you want to make more money, enhance your skills. But there's more to it than that. And those are going to be the types of things that we're going to be exploring on a more detailed basis, and we'll take a deeper, more in-depth look at those types of things over time. So in my experience, I recall when I was about 9 or 10 years old, I was a paper boy, had a paper route, and I delivered papers to probably, 15 or 20 homes. 9 or 10 years old, delivering papers, I had to go door to door and collect the subscription fees. So then, over the course of time, I actually started to get an understanding of business through owning that paper route. What actually happened in my experience was I had a cancellation, and when that cancellation occurred, I was actually receiving one additional paper from the newspaper company than I was actually delivering. So at the end of the period, I actually had to account for that difference. Okay, so in accounting for that difference, what actually happened to me was, because I had to pay for the papers that were given to me and the amounts of money that were being paid by the people I was delivering the newspapers to, and given that difference, I had to actually make up that difference out of my own pocket. So for me, that was my first lesson in accounting, my first true lesson in business, and my first true lesson in terms of understanding how all of these issues fit together. So when we correlate those issues with economics, there are some core concepts in economics. There's price, supply, demand, there's opportunity costs. So those are some terms that an economist will throw out. Okay, but they have a practical application in terms of what you do in order to enhance your income potential and what you will do to achieve financial independence. When we are in a situation where we're looking at the decisions that you will make, because when I was delivering newspapers when I was 9 or 10 years old, I was also cutting grass using my father's lawnmower. I was babysitting. I was raking leaves. I was shoveling driveways. I was doing many other things. And what I found was I could, in the same amount of time, or less time, because when you're delivering papers, it's every day, there are deadlines, it's 7 days a week, and it's X number of dollars. But what I found was, if I actually allocated the value of my time in the formula as a part of that expense, that it was not profitable for me to spend my time being a paper boy and delivering papers. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is talking about those kinds of issues. Conceptually, accounting is pretty simple. Okay, so the income minus expenses equal profit. That's your income statement. Okay, so then the other statement that's important is your balance sheet. And that simply is what you own, the value of what you own, minus what you owe, the value of what you owe, and that equals your net worth. So those are two formulas that, if you conceptually understand those, you conceptually understand accounting. If you conceptually understand those two concepts, then you're on your way to financial independence. You're on your way to enhancing your value in the marketplace. So again, it's income minus expenses equals your profit, or you could say surplus, disposable income, on the other side is your balance sheet is what you own, the value of what you own minus the value of what you owe is your net worth. Just as an insight, wealthy people focus on their balance sheets. People that are struggling financially, people that are in the rat race, so to speak, those people are focused on their income statement. So what we're going to do is shift your thought processes away from your income statement to the balance sheet.